Fucking hoes and popping pills, man, I feel it's like a rock star. I've been fucking hoes and popping pills, man, I feel it's like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Aussie and show up and then they shut down. And my homies pull up on your block and make that thing go grata-ta-ta. Switch my waking back in black and started saying rest in peace to Con Scott.
What is up, guys, and welcome to the 11th and penultimate episode of my F1 2019 career mode in season number 1. Now here we are, kicking it straight off with the Mexican Grand Prix. We've got another two great races coming up in today's episode, including one of our best races of the season so far. The car is getting better and better every week, and we are quickly closing down on the top three teams. Here you can see the quality 1 results kicking it off in Mexico. We do get a 6th place finish in quality 1, however you can see 15 place penalties, maybe we started from the back of the grid and really scrapping for whatever points we can get in this Grand Prix. Kubica, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, a couple of drivers going out there. I think I saw Weber and Sainz, the other two names. Renault really dropping off, actually. They're the team that are struggling hugely so far in this career mode, dropping rapidly down leaderboard, and it's gone horribly considering they've got two top drivers in Sainz and Hulkenberg, who are just having an absolute nightmare of a season. So you can see our quali 1 session actually, but we sadly didn't make it through to quali 2, dropping out in that session just in 11th place. We're very close. We're pretty much be starting from the back of the grid. And here we are, you can see we're starting in 19th. Kubica had penalties as well, so we're not starting quite at the back, but the lights are out now. Away we go. It's an average start of 9. We've got Grosjean and Giovinazzi, both in decent cars actually on the grid, so we had some stiff competition around us to get past. You can see Albon, Kubica, or Gasly, Sainz, they're the kind of drivers that we have a better chance. We saw them out of the way, don't want to hit Giovinazzi into the first corner. It actually pays off quite well for us as it forces us to adapt, slip it up that inside of turn 1, and then Giovinazzi pressures us. We go side by side. I can't remember whether we pull the move off here. We do, and we're up into P16 off at the start. This is a bit like a last to first challenge. We've got a stronger car as we dip in ahead of Sainz here. Can we pull the move off? No, we cannot. Albon as well, scrapping two drivers who could have been competing for Red Bull seats if Sainz hadn't headed off to McLaren and then got dropped for yours truly to head it through the third and third. And Giovinazzi looking again, still hunting for that position, as with these turns you can really switch the inside to outside very, very quickly. So if you can just get side by side with your opponent, you can often be in as quick as a whistle. As we try to stick around the outside of Alexander Albon here, trying to search for the gaps, but the first part of this race comes to a close. We are sitting in P16. And as we head into the final section, we're going to slip it up around the outside of Alexander Albon here, trying to get up into a 15th place. The current Red Bull driver now. And up ahead we've got Sainz and Gasly. Gasly, one of the toughest drivers to get past. Actually, of course, still in the Red Bull here. We've got plenty of ERS to use though. We can see if we can catch Sainz here. And the second lap, it takes a bit of time, but we do, thankfully, to the issue that Hulkenberg has with his car. Myself, Gasly and Sainz also going to queue. And you can see two dive to the right here. We're going to stick to the racing line. Hulkenberg misses it. I don't know what he was thinking. Blocks us off, but actually blocks Sainz's teammate off even worse. And allowing us to get to 14. Although we actually snatch at Hulkenberg's wheel there a little bit. A bit of a nasty move, I must say. But we do get a very strong exit out of the last turn. It goes side by side. An absolute tank slapper there. We managed to hold the car together. We're side by side, 0.001 seconds between myself and Nico. However, I believe the other two drivers got DRS, we didn't, because on the straight we got absolutely battered in those final few seconds. We're searching for a gap. Both Sainz and Hulkenberg block up, however they block up the track. You know, get the move on Hulkenberg, but Sainz gains 2 positions on that straight. And we're sitting in P14. Eventually, we do get the move off the next lap, using that DRS, getting the revenge. We're up into P13, you can see that group up ahead. That is what we're trying to catch. Ricciardo there. And within a lap, I think there's another car having a hold up here. And it may be George Russell, an excellent qualifying. Getting into quality 3 for the first time, I believe, in this season. Kimi Raikkonen up there as well, Lucas Weber. And Weber, you can see up ahead as we come into lap 6, looking around at Raikkonen, snurching, that's not a word, searching for that move. There's a yellow flag behind us. Someone's got an issue. And I believe I remember correctly, it's Giovinazzi. As we're going to get the DRS as Raikkonen blocks off Weber. We push up into P12. You can see Ricciardo only now a few seconds up the road. We've really absolutely smashed it. So we're going to try and stick it all the way around the outside. We do it as Kevin Magnussen, the win out there. We're searching for the gaps against Kimi Raikkonen, the most experienced man on the grid here. And we're looking for those holes. Where are the areas we can just slip in a move and eventually it's the boring old straight that we're going to have to do it on. But if the move works and it sticks, and we're up into P11 with George Russell, the man sitting in P10, I think a driver that, although Williams have improved, he is a rookie like us, and I think we should be able to pull this move off fairly swiftly, and we do so, sadly, yet again on that bloody straight. It's really becoming not the most exciting part of this Grand Prix, I must say, but up ahead now, Russell, sorry, actually, I forgot this bit. Russell makes a move trying to get back at us. We switch it back, and we're able to, I think, remain in position. No, Russell continues to fight for it here, sticking it up the inside, and he's got the position back. Russell coming back, and I believe we head into the pit. No, Russell heads into the pit. Our teammate Ricciardo heads out, and we stick out for the long stint on this occasion, trying to play it as long as we can. We're going to push up into P7, just past Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari, and then when we have our pit a lap later, we come out and we have been undercut by Russell. It did pay off for him, and we're down to P13. I believe there are a couple of pitters still to come, and yeah, you can see we're up to P10. We did get Russell yet again on the straight, and now it's the exciting part, a teammate battle. We stick around the outside of Daniel here in quite an aggressive move, and there's chance for some decent points, both myself and Ricciardo, with Gasly, Bottas and Butler all up ahead. Butler especially important, being our championship rival, or Constructors rival, although more annoyingly, Perez up the road with the top dogs. It's surprised to see Bottas down so low. Anyway, we're going to stick it. Butler blocks off Bottas. We're going to try and get the both of them into this corner, sticking it up the inside. We're not going to get Butler, but we do have a look at Valtteri Bottas, who's gone for the hard tyres. Always an interesting selection. But on top of that, it's just having an absolutely awful race thing back in 9th. You just wouldn't expect it. Awful, I was about to say Swede. He's not Swedish. It's the Finn, that's the word I'm looking for. But we're now hunting down Devon Butler here, our F2 rival. Meanwhile, Bottas, with his superior car, is going to take a peek up the inside into the third sector. He's going to get the move off. Pretty smooth, actually, right there. We're going to try and dip it back. Cut up our inside again. It's really aggressive moves from both drivers here. What you love to see. And Ricciardo, out of nowhere, as we dove in, cost ourselves a second on turn. Bottas got it back, and then Ricciardo's taking a look, trying to get back into 9th place. So it looks like at a minimum, both of us will be getting points from this Grand Prix, though. It's a last as Lucas Vane behind. Bottas does not have DRS, and we should be able to pull this move off. We set it fake to the right, switch to the left. Meanwhile, up ahead as well, Butler pulls the move off, I believe, on Pierre Gasly. They're going side by side through the first couple of turns. A poor line into turn 2 right there, but we're up into P8 yet again. Hopefully this time we can make the move stick. No, we can't. Maybe it's Bottas making a move again on lap 15. This has been an intense one, the best race we've had so far this season in terms of overtakes. Lots of action in this Grand Prix. Bottas got a pretty poor exit by the looks of things right there. We maybe had to pull this back again. Looks like he can't have a lot of ERS for the speed of his car right there as well. We're going to cut it up the inside, take a very narrow line. Let's see if we can find that gap. And we're going to stick it up the outside. We're going to go around the outside, try and put it all the way around. We're not going to be able to do that. Still stuck in 9th. Lucas Vane, meanwhile, overtaken Ricciardo, who's really struggling in this race. I must say, it's a bit of a disappointment. And you guess what's happening fucking next. Valtteri Bottas, eat my ass. We're up into 8th place with DRS. As easy as you like that move. No competition from him this time. With the DRS flowing, he really didn't stand a lot of a chance. As we come to the end of the Grand Prix, on those last couple of laps, we worked to fend off Bottas, and we hunt down Gasly and Butler, but it was too little too late, and it's going to be an 8th place finish in the Mexican Grand Prix here. A very, very satisfactory result right there that I am delighted with. So, at the end of the Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel does win the race. However, I believe, if I am correct, it's still not quite enough, as Hamilton is going to stick it right up the top and has a 74-point lead. So, I think we must say the title is pretty much his. However, Constructors is still up to grabs, both between the Ferraris and Mercedes and between ourselves and the Racing Points for that best of the rest finish. Both Perez and Butler ahead of myself and Ricciardo right now, but it's what, that 38-point gap? It's still closable with 3 races to go. Let's get to USA. So here we are at the US Grand Prix, the third final race. That makes no sense of the season, but this is a track that I am very, very excited to be getting into. A track that I think A, perfectly suits me, B, perfectly suits McLaren, and a track that I think we can absolutely rip it up, especially this first sector, which is one of my absolute favourite parts of any track on this game. You can absolutely fly through it. As we set purple sectors right there, flying straight over the back. You can see the quality of results. Some brilliant news for us. Sergio Perez going to be sitting on P19 on the grid. A horrendous result for the Mexican, but perfect for us to get us a chance to get back in that Constructors race against Racing Point for that best of the rest position. And then again, Devon Butler out in P12, whilst both McLarens make it through to the final session of qualifying. This competition between the two teams really heating up. However, sadly, the Drivers' Championship, as we're sure they're going to go, probably pretty much over. Hamilton can't score a single other point remaining in this championship, and I think that probably is a little bit of a stretch, especially as it is coursed through to P3, quali 3. But as we head into the final turn of the Austin Grand Prix for qualifying, you can see that we do come out in 8th place. Not the greatest result in quali 3, but I did struggle in the wet quite badly, and we're going to be suffering because of that. Ricciardo, on the other hand, in P3. Here we are then for the Mexican Grand Prix, and the lights are out and away we go. We're sitting in P6 because of a couple of penalties, but George bloody Russell up the outside with a brilliant start to the Grand Prix right here. We're going to have the inside line, it's going to help us a bit. We're back up into 6th, we're going to try and stick it around the outside, but both the Ferraris here, round Vettel and round Leclerc. That is a brilliant move into the first lap of the Grand Prix, and myself and Ricciardo sitting P3 and P4. This is the thing that we needed to get back in this Constructors fight versus Racing Point, and it is done perfectly just that. And we're coming through the turns now. Bottas and Hamilton. It looks like he's got the championship sewn up with this result. You can see this is what I'm worried about. Vettel coming from behind with that aggressive Ferrari engine. The pace in it, of course, very rapid indeed. We're going to be able to defend through that turn now. We're going to try and get past Ricciardo as well. Pick up our second podium, or is it second? Might be our third podium of the year, in fact, actually, as we make the move now. We're going to try and stick it all the way around the outside here on lap 2 with overtake ERS flowing. We pull a little bit too deep into the turn. We're going to get exit. We're going to have the inside line here, but Ricciardo has the racing line, so we'll see how this turns out. Almost contact there. We're going side by side, giving as much room to our teammate as we possibly could whilst being aggressive at the same time. We don't want to have an incident here. We back off. We had to back off there. We do not need a track crash at this stage of the season. We stick behind Ricciardo for now. Meanwhile, the Mercedes up ahead, absolutely flying. Devon Butler, you can see the pink dot of the Force India or Racing Point gaining up the track quickly. So we're going to be careful to keep our distance. But this time on lap 4, with the DRS and ERS flowing, we're easily able to pull the move on our Aussie teammate. We are up into P3 for one of our podiums. I'm not sure if it's our second or third. My memory has gone completely blank right now, but we pull it through. And on lap 6, not a lot of action. We pulled away from that group, and we're going for the undercut this time. After pitting late last time, not working it, we're going to pit very early this time. See if that, on the other hand, can maybe even catch up to Bottas and Hamilton up ahead. Maybe we can challenge for our first Grand Prix victory. Max Verstappen a long way down the grid there. As you see him in P11, I think he may have had grid penalties as to why he is so far down. Sergio Perez still near the back of the grid, which is what we like to see. We're going to have a lot of clean air to gain some time. Just as long as we don't hit the back of that traffic, we should be alright. Coming in through the undercut right here. And I think the most medium should be pretty quick. And as you can see, we gain a good, probably 2 seconds on our teammate Daniel Ricciardo there with the undercut pit stop. Vettel and Leclerc having an absolute nightmare a long way back. And by the end of all the pit stops, we're going to be sitting in a provisional P3. I believe Lucas Weber didn't pit till very late in this race up ahead. No, it's Devon Butler, that pits very late, not Weber. I knew it was by the F2 people, but as we come onto lap 10, we're sitting in P3, and we are hunting down Bottas very quickly. We're almost on top of the man, and if we can overtake him, P2, we haven't achieved that yet, we haven't achieved win, but P2 will be our best finish yet. And on lap 12, we get the chance for the move, though not the most exciting Grand Prix, I must admit, but we stick it around the outside on the straight here, comfortably into the tight turn as we head into the third and final sector of the Grand Prix. We are past Bottas. We're not going to be able to get that fastest lap, but it's going to be a very good performance right here at the US Grand Prix. Our 7 will be good, and that is exactly what got done. We did get on Hamilton a bit, but the gap was just a little bit too far. But P2, our best ever finish. Ricciardo, you can see about them, but I believe with P6 is going to make a huge difference in the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship in pushing McLaren up the standings and giving us a fighting chance against Racing Point in tomorrow's episode. So let's take a look, and we also, I believe, will see Hamilton win the Drivers' Championship, and there it is. Hamilton, probably not a shock, and maybe we'll see it in real life very soon, but he's won it in Austin here. Hamilton is our Drivers' World Champion.
However, and here they are now, our new Formula One World Drivers' Champion. Top is now an insurmountable one.
So at the end of the Grand Prix, second place. What a fucking result. In other news, George Russell picks his first point up for Williams of the season. The car has improved and improved and improved. It's made a big difference. And that result for us has made a huge difference. We've jumped both Perez and Gasly in the standings, having a poor season in real life. We're past the 100-point mark, and there is now only a 12-point gap between ourselves and Racing Point. The lead, pretty much the Constructors, is over. Mercedes look like they've got the win, but between ourselves, Ricciardo, Perez and Butler, it's to be a scrap to the end. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!